Hello students, welcome to Accounting Explained at Account-Wise Academy. This is Latha Venkateshwaran. This is Rectification of Errors Part 2. Here we are going to learn about errors that do not affect the trial balance. Dear students, we will come across two types of errors when we prepare the trial balance. Those are errors that do not affect the trial balance. When you get these types of errors, your trial balance will tally, but there will be some error in the trial balance, okay, or in your books of accounts. It is little difficult to identify those errors. Next comes the errors that do affect the trial balance. As the name itself suggests, in this case, the trial balance will not tally. Okay, let us see these errors in detail a little bit. Errors not affecting the trial balance. First we take that, and those occur in two accounts keeping debits and credits equal. For example, we are going to pay salary to your employees. Instead of debiting the salary account, if you have taken it to the electricity account, the trial balance will tally. But there is an error. Instead of salary, we have taken to electricity. So the rectification to be done in that case is journal entry. Okay, you have to pass the rectification journal entry and then you have to rectify those errors. Next is your errors affecting trial balance. In this case, trial balance will not tally. These occur in one account, causing mismatch in totals. Totally, if you have avoided to take salary account at all to your trial balance, then your trial balance will not tally. So there is mismatch in totals for the trial balance. In that case, for identifying the errors, first you have to open the suspense account and then tally the trial balance. Then you have to identify the error and then you have to rectify those errors. Rectification of two-sided errors in accounting occur in two or more accounts. As we had already seen, instead of salary, if we had taken to electricity, then here two accounts are involved. Okay, and these errors are also known as errors not affecting the trial balance, meaning your trial balance will tally, but there is still error in your books of accounts. How will you rectify it? You can rectify it by a rectification journal entry to correct the affected accounts, here salary or electricity. Okay. Students, now let us see some common examples for two-sided errors in accounting or errors do not affect the trial balance. In this video, we are going to see only errors that do not affect the trial balance. Okay. Complete omission of recording an entry in the books of original entry. Suppose you have paid salary of rupees 5,000 to your employees. This entry, if you have completely avoided to take, then your trial balance will tally, but there is mistake in it because you have not taken this entry to your accounts. Okay, there is equal debit and credit, so your trial balance will tally. Next example is wrong recording of transactions in the books. Instead of salary, if you have taken electricity account debit to bank, then to your trial balance will tally, but there is wrong account you have taken. Instead of salary, you have taken electricity, which is not correct. Next is complete omission of posting to the wrong account, but correct side. So you pass this entry and you have posted this to the electricity account, this amount of 5,000. Then also your trial balance will tally, but you have taken to the wrong account, right? Next, error of principal. Suppose you have withdrawn, the proprietor or the company has withdrawn rupees 5,000 for personal use. Okay, then in that case, the entry should be drawings account debit to bank 10,000 rupees. Suppose he has withdrawn for personal use. This is the correct entry. But instead of passing this entry, you have passed as if he has taken salary account debit to bank. So there is total error of principal because this is capital in nature and this is revenue in nature. So there is a error in the principal. Then to your trial balance will tally, but there is error of principal in it. Okay. These are some of the examples of two-sided errors in accounting. We saw some examples for two-sided errors in accounting. Let us see how to do the rectification process, that is step by step. First, you pass a correct entry. Let us take the same example of the salary account debit to bank account 5,000. This is the correct entry. Then pass a wrong entry. Instead of taking to salary, you have taken to electricity. So this will be your wrong entry. Electricity account debit 5,000 to bank account 5,000. Okay, now you have to pass a rectification entry. Here, bank account you have taken correctly, credit. So no need to touch it, just scrap it off. Okay, here salary has to be debited. So this is the correct entry, right? So salary take as it is, salary account debit. here electricity is debited, which is a wrong debit. This is wrong debit. How to cancel the wrong debit? By crediting it to electricity account. Okay, 5,000, 5,000. This will be a rectification entry. This is the process which we are going to follow. Next comes a step 4. If the amount which you have taken is of lesser or higher amount. Okay, step 4. Analyze the error's effect on the accounts involved. Short debit or credit in an account, excess debit or credit in an account. If there is short debit or excess credit, then debit the account. If there is lesser debit or excess credit, then debit the account. Excess debit or short credit, credit the account. So this is the process or the steps which we are going to follow for the rectification of errors. I am going to teach you the process. Okay, rectification of errors process. So we are going to open one tabular column. Okay, table. First we will pass correct entry, the entry that should have been recorded according to the transaction. Next, wrong entry, the entry that was actually recorded incorrectly in the books, which you have wrongly taken in the books. Next comes the journal entry, as we had done the journal entry made to correct the wrong entry and restore accuracy. So this is the format which we are going to follow. This approach helps us identify, analyze and correct errors in a systematic way. If you follow this tabular column, then it will be very easy and you can solve or you can rectify any entry. Okay, any wrong entry. Let us do one exam question now to understand it further. Students, the question is as follows. Following are some accounting transactions and entries that have been incorrectly recorded. Identify the type of error in each case and suggest the correct rectification. See, you have to do the correct rectification and also you have to identify the type of error, that is the classification of errors. This classification of errors I have elaborately explained in my previous video. I will share the link in the description box. Please go through that. And above also you can see the link of the classification of errors. Okay. Rent paid rupees 4,000 was posted to landlord's personal account. Goods returned from Mahesh rupees 1,000 were recorded as rupees 1,600. Cash receipt from Kohli rupees 2,000 was posted to Kapoor's account. Credit purchases from Rohan rupees 9,000 were recorded as 9,900. Goods withdrawn by proprietor for personal use rupees 1,000 were debited to sundry expenses account. Salary paid rupees 5,000 was debited to employee's personal account. Cash paid to Babu 1,500 rupees was posted to Sabu's account. Credit sales to Mohan rupees 7,000 were recorded as 7,200. Goods returned to Rakesh rupees 4,000 were recorded as 4,040. As I have told you already, this is one important exam question which we are going to solve, and all these transactions have two-sided errors of accounting. That is, they have the errors where the trial balance will tally, that will not affect the trial balance. The errors are of that type. Okay. Dear students, now let us see the solution for the question. So the first transaction is rent paid rupees 4,000 was posted to landlord's personal account. Instead of taking to the rent account, we have posted to the landlord's personal account. If you see in the question, they have asked us to identify the type of error. First we will do that. Rent is a recurring expense. When expense or income is recurring in nature, we call it as a revenue expense. We call rent as recurring expenditure because we will be paying it every month. Whereas landlord's personal account is a capital in nature. Okay, I'll give you an example. So you are paying rent for your premises 4,000 rupees every month. For renting out that premises, you would have paid an advance. Okay, that advance will be a one-time payment. So that one-time payment is capital in nature and that will be taken to your landlord's personal account. So instead of treating it as a revenue expense, you are treating it as a capital expense. That is the error of principle. Here, next we will come to the rectification entry. For that, what did I tell you? I have asked you to open three columns: correct entry, wrong entry and the rectification entry. Okay, the correct entry will be rent account debit. Rent is an expense. Expense increases, debited 4,000. Cash or bank 4,000. You are paying rent by cash or bank. Okay, so your balance is going to be reduced. When the asset value decreases, credit it. Wrong entry, what you have done? You have debited the receiver landlord's account debit rupees 4,000 to cash or bank 4,000. Okay, now you have to pass the rectification entry. Compare the correct entry and the wrong entry. The credit you have written correctly, so strike it off to cash or bank 4,000 to cash or bank 4,000. Now the remaining is only the debit part. In the debit part, correct debit, take it. Rent account debit 4,000, take it to the rectification entry. Landlord account debit 4,000 is wrong. How will you cancel the debit? By crediting it. So credit to landlord's account 4,000. Okay, this will be your rectification entry. Here I have not written the narration. You have to write the narration in the exam. Okay, remember, you have to write the narration in the exam. Next transaction. Goods returned to Mahesh, rupees 1000, were recorded as 1600. Goods returned means 2, means purchase return. So instead of taking it as 1000, you have taken it as 1600. So 1600 less 1000 is equal to 600 excess. So we have taken incorrect excess amount. That is called as error of commission. Okay. Now the correct entry will be Mahesh account debit. Debit the receiver. Here when you return goods, it will go to Mahesh. So debit the receiver. Mahesh account debit 1000 to purchase return. Purchase, it's an expense. So when you purchase goods, you will debit it. Purchase return is opposite of purchases. So when you are going to return goods, purchase return will be credited 1000 rupees. Wrong entry is Mahesh account debit 1600 to purchase return 1600. Entry you have returned correctly, but you have taken the wrong amount. Okay, here you have to reduce 600. Then your entry will be correct. How will you reduce 600? By reversing the entry. So the reverse entry will be purchase account debit to Mahesh account 600. Okay. The next transaction is cash received from Kohli, rupees 2000 was posted to Kapoor's account. Okay, here we have made an error of commission. Instead of Kohli, you have taken to the Kapoor account, that is wrong account credited. Correct entry will be cash account debit. Okay, cash received. Debit what comes in? What comes in? Cash. Cash account debit 2000. Cash is an asset and the asset increases. You have to debit it. To Kohli's account 2000. Credit the giver. Who is giving the amount? Kohli 2000. Okay, instead of that, you have written as cash account debit 2000 to Kapoor's account. As if Kapoor is giving you, you have returned the entry. So you have to pass a rectification entry. What did I tell you? I asked you to compare the correct entry and the wrong entry and see the side which we have written correctly. Here we have written cash account debit correctly 2000, so strike it off. Now the correct entry is to Kohli's account. So write to Kohli's account 2000. Wrong entry is to Kapoor's account. To cancel the credit, we have to debit it. So Kapoor's account debit 2000. The rectification entry will be Kapoor's account debit to Kohli's account 2000. Next transaction. Credit purchases from Rohan rupees 9000 were recorded as 9900. Okay. So instead of taking it as 9000, we have taken it as 9900. So there is a difference of 900. Error of commission, incorrect excess amount. Correct entry will be credit purchases from Rohan, right? So credit purchase is an expense. So it has to be debited. Purchases account debit 9000. Rohan is your creditor. Okay. To Rohan's account, credit the creditor to 9000. But you have taken it as purchases account debit 9900 to Rohan's account 9900. Instead of 9000, you have taken it as 9900. There is an excess of 900 in the wrong entry. How will you cancel that excess? By reversing the entry. So entry will be Rohan's account debit to purchases account with the excess amount. What is the excess amount here? 900. Dear students, the next transaction is goods withdrawn by proprietor for personal use rupees 1000 were debited to sundry expenses account. Goods withdrawn by proprietor for personal use means drawings. Okay. Instead of taking it to the drawings, they have taken it to the sundry expenses. Drawings is capital in nature, whereas sundry expenses revenue expense. So this is a error of principle. The correct entry you should have passed is you should have debited drawings account. Okay. When the proprietor brings in money to the business, that is a capital, it is credited. Okay, capital is a liability to the business, so it is credited. Whereas drawings is opposite of capital because he is withdrawing money out of the business, the proprietor. Okay, that is why drawings is debited. Drawings account debit to here instead of money he is taking goods. From where he will take the goods? From the purchases he had made. Okay, so to purchases account 1000. When you purchase goods, purchase is an expense, it will be debited. When you withdraw goods, it should be credited. Purchases account. Okay, this particularly goods withdrawn by proprietor for personal use. That journal entry, for the understanding that journal entry, I have uploaded a short for that. If you have any doubt, you can go through those shorts. Okay, those shorts playlist is journal entries, tips and tricks. I will be sharing it in the description box. Please go through it if you are unable to understand this journal entry. Okay. Next, wrong entry. Wrong entry is instead of drawings, you have taken to the sundry expenses. So when the expenses increase, it has to be debited. Sundry expenses debit account debit 1000 to purchases account 1000. That purchases account you have taken correctly. So for passing the rectification entry, what I have told you, compare the correct and the wrong entry. Here you are seeing that purchases credit is taken correctly. Now the wrong correct entry you see. Correct entry is drawings account debit 1000. So take it as debit, drawings account debit 1000, and for sundry expenses you have debited wrongly. Cancel that by crediting that sundry expenses to sundry expenses 1000. Okay, the next transaction. Salary paid rupees 5000 was debited to employee's personal account. Employee's personal account is his personal account. Personal account, if you see the name personal account, then it is a capital in nature. So salary is a revenue expense because you are going to pay it every month. Here you have made an error of principle. Correct entry you should have passed is salary account debit 5000. Salary is an expense. When the expense increases, debit it. Cash or bank, here it is as an asset. The asset balance is going to be reduced. So credit it 5000. Instead of that, you have passed it as employee's account debit 5000 to cash or bank account 5000. On comparing the correct entry and the wrong entry, cash account debit 5000 you have taken correctly on the credit side. So the correct entry is salary account debit. Take it directly. Employee's account debit 5000 is a wrong entry. Cancel that by crediting it to employee's account 5000. Next transaction is cash paid to Babu rupees 1500 was posted to Sabu's account. Instead of Babu, you have taken to Sabu. So it is error of commission, wrong account debited. Correct entry will be debit the receiver. Babu is a receiver. So Babu's account debit 1500 to cash or bank account 1500. Instead of Babu, you have taken to Sabu. So wrong entry will be Sabu account debit 1500 to cash or bank account 1500. Compare the correct and the wrong entries. So to cash or bank account you have taken correctly, that is on the credit side. Correct debit in the correct entry is bank account debit, take it as Babu account debit 1500. The wrong entry is Sabu account debit 1500. To cancel that you have to credit it to Sabu's account 1500. Next transaction. Credit sales to Mohan 7000 were recorded as 7200. Okay, this is again error of commission, incorrect excess amount. Instead of 7000 to 7000 you have taken it as 7200. So the difference of 200 is excess amount. Correct entry will be usual sales entry, credit sales entry. Mohan account debit 7000. Mohan is the debtor, so debit him to sales account 7000. Sales is an income and the income increases, you have to credit it. Wrong entry you have passed is same with the wrong amount. Mohan account debit 7200 to sales account 7200. So this wrong entry has a excess of 200. How will you rectify it? By reversing it with the excess amount. Sales account debit 200 to Mohan account 200 is the rectification entry. Students, we have come to the last part of the question. That is goods returned from Rakesh, rupees 4040 were recorded as 4000. Instead of taking it as 4040, you have taken it as 4000. There is a lesser amount of 40. So this is error of commission with incorrect lesser amount. Okay, now the correct entry which you are going to pass is sales return account debit 4040 to Rakesh account 4040. I will explain this entry. Sales is an income that will be credited. Okay, when the income increases, it will be credited. Sales return is opposite of sales. So sales return will be debited. Sales return account debit 4000. Now Rakesh is returning the goods. Credit the giver. Who is giving the goods? Rakesh. So Rakesh account is credited. You have passed the wrong entry as sales return account debit 4000 to Rakesh account 4000. Same entry you have passed it as a wrong amount. Here the amount is lesser. You should have 4040. That is a difference of 40 rupees is lesser. How will you rectify it? You will pass the exact entry with the difference amount of 40. So the entry will be sales return account debit 40 to Rakesh account 40. That will be the rectification entry. If you would like to inquire about the online classes which I take or to get more worksheets, you can contact us at acc.wiseacademy@gmail.com.